We're getting there.
Bring that beat back on, boy. Hey, look, we got the dopest beat in the industry, I'm telling you.
Big shout out to Golden Eye Creations for making that beat and supplying that for our intro. Well, welcome to the Fourcast with myself, Wilks, HRap B, and Dawk. We'll be talking about the final installment of Exterminate All The Brutes. We've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks. I do apologize in advance if there are any technical issues. There is a storm going on right now in North Texas, so I'm doing it from my phone. Normally you get to see a beautiful background. Now you just see a shadow behind me and a green screen, but we here.
Yeah,
so we're about to do
you got to focus on being phased today. I mean, we can't help y'all with that. It is what it is.
And daydream and look at the background.
Right. But Wilks, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good, doing good. How about yourself?
Good. Besides Spectrum, man, we need to do a show on the Spectrum because I'm gonna go on a rant for them suckers. All right, Doc, how you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic, man. It is really storming bad here. As I was preparing for the show, one of those big thunder strikes hit, and I thought I pulled my pistol. Boy, I'm like, hey, come to this one if you want.
Oh,
you in 40. You might want to be careful with that.
Oh no, I'm good.
Oh no, he good, that man.
I'm good. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right, HRap.
I'm good, man. Still sending out notifications. I'm blaming the man on the storm.
All right. So just to give you an overview, we've been talking about Exterminate All the Brutes, part 1. This is part 4. This is a movie, or kind of a movie and a documentary, directed by Raoul Peck, man, he's done an amazing job being able to mix both worlds together, and I've been impressed with everything that we watched. So I wanted to give a couple of shout outs. This is also, let me back up, this is based on a book by Stephen Lindquist, which he also touches on that in this episode, episode 4. I want to give a couple shout outs to some of those that have been tuning in and commenting on the past episodes. We had Levita Richardson, made me think of Levita Alizé Jenkins from the Steve Harvey show. So shout out to you. Also, Gracie Strather, she was calling us out. She was like, if you're talking about white people, just say white people, don't say they. So she was calling us out on her comment. Al High, thank you for tuning in. He's a part of BS3 Radio. DMVJ, thank you for tuning in. He's a part of Tiger Park. And then we had a Zendaya and a Hinhaska. I'm gonna say it. That's what it say. That's what it say.
Okay.
That's the way that's what my brain is translating. So the title of part 4 was The Bright Colors of Fascism, and it opens up with a great Christopher Columbus joke. If y'all remember that, Columbus walks into a bar and says, "I own it now."
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, black people look around and say, "White people."
White people.
And that was a joke. That was a perfect opening to this episode, which they talked about Christopher Columbus throughout this. But what'd you think of the opening with that joke? Which being it a heavy documentary, I think he did try to find ways to give you a chuckle, but it was hard. It was hard to get a chuckle out of this one. But but go ahead, Wilks.
No, I just think it's one of those things where it was a punchline there where it was just like, yeah, I'm just kidding, but I'm serious. I get it, It's like jokes on you, but it wasn't really funny, kind of thing. But it was just like, oh man. But it's one of those things you just have to take it on the job, because it's like, man, this guy came over here with the BS. He comes over here with this priest, like they're claiming the land for the Holy Land and trying to get a foothill on everything. It's just one of those things where it was just like, yeah, okay. That didn't age very well.
Yeah, about that exploration that you thought you had.
Exactly.
Dawk.
Yeah, I think it just another one of the ways that he came at this documentary or docuseries from a number of different ways, right? It's a way that you disarm people, right? Mm-hmm. In fact, I intentionally tried not to. A lot of times when we review a movie, I'll go see what mainstream is saying about it, right? Not because I wanted to shape my view, but I'm just interested. Did they see it the same way I saw it, right? And every now and then you can learn a fun fact. Well, I did that finally in my preparation for part 4, right? And it is getting critical acclaim for the way he's delivering it. And one of the things that you'll see is that it's been he switches back and forth from a movie style to a documentary style. He's self-narrating it, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it was just another way that he was able to basically disarm the viewer, right? Because that's basically what he's trying to get you to do, is just challenge the way that you've been looking at things. So sometimes humor is a great way to do that. So I thought it was fantastic. Yeah.
And you're right about that. He's mixed kind of both worlds together, which is something that you don't see. It's either a documentary or it's a movie. It's not a mixture of both. Me and Wilks was talking about this. His voice is so monotone. There's no up or down. Right. So it's like you don't know. Is there maybe he just wanted to be non-emotional, just so that he can fully get through it. And so I respect that a little brief comedy. Go ahead, HRap.
I loved it. I love the joke, because when you're dealing with something this serious, you have to have some levity with it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to digest it. Look at our show. We've been talking about the oppression and destruction of people for the last month. And if we were just going, man, this is horrible, right? Nobody would pay attention to us. So he came in with a little humor, a little levity, loosen up the thing. You're like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. And then you move forward, because at the end of the day, this one was more definite. It was more definite destruction in this one than all other 4 combined.
Right. Yeah, it's funny what HRap was just saying there, because there was a part in there where I literally just had to chuckle to myself, because matter of fact, when they formed the Office of Indian Affairs, and I'm like, but you have no Native Americans on, there's no Indians on this board. So I'm like, they all look like you. They all look white. I'm like, so what are you doing? Right. So I had to kind of chuckle and just think about it. I'm just like, oh, great.
Well, a couple of things for me. That the monotone voice, man, on episode 1, it was one of my early notes. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this before parts, but it ended up catching my attention. So I forgot about that part of it. But early on, I was like, this is horrible. He should have had somebody else narrate this. Yeah. He's got a great film. He's got a great idea, and he's about to ruin it with his voice. I was like, that's real talk.
But that's the psychological part. That's the psychological part, because psychologists tell you, when you start yelling at people, they tune out. Right. If you're speaking a monotone, you're right. Tune in. They lean in. They engage, because they try to figure out what you're trying to say. And then when he starts showing you that destruction, he starts showing you the mayhem, he starts showing you the oppression, then whoop, it's over. Yeah. He gets you hooked, and then that's what happens for the ride.
Yeah, that's what happened. But as far as the humor, and not only him using a little humor, but us using humor and dealing with such a heavy topic, my mama used to always say, and Wilks talked about, he chuckled a little bit. My mama used to always say, sometimes I laugh just to keep from crying.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
that's real.
And my mama had a variation of that too. Dawk. Same thing make you laugh will make you cry.
Yeah, that's right.
I've heard both of those. All right,
and if anybody ever got a baby mama, they'll believe that right away. I was just trying to prove the humor point. That's it. Baby mamas all over the world. That's just a joke. Happy Mother's Day.
What a great way to say Happy Mother's Day.
Exactly. Yeah. Making you laugh. That was yesterday. This today. That's over.
That's old news.
We early for next year.
Yeah.
Let's give a couple of shout outs. Mandela, thank you for tuning in. Darlene, April, thank you for tuning in.
That's April Showers.
Yeah. Ernest Johnson. You sound like a preacher.
EJ.
That's the dude from the collective perspective. That's a good brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baby mama's definitely qualified. Put in the chat. So, as we get into this episode, it starts to talk about North America was owned by natives. And I don't even want to call them Native Americans anymore because they're just natives
at the time.
Yeah,
they're natives. They were here. This is their native land. And some guy, Christopher Columbus, that guy just comes in and is like, oh, well, I found it. And they was like, well, they couldn't fully communicate, but I'm sure there was like, we here. What you mean you found it? You looking at somebody. So it really started to talk about that, and then it talked about the myth of manifest destiny, which I wanted to look up the definition or description. What's the 19th century doctrine or belief that the expansion of the U.S. throughout the American continents was both justified and inevitable, and it was neither. It's not right to impose and say, this is something that we want, so we're going to take it. And then you say it's justified. Or you say it was inevitable. No, it wasn't. You forced it. This is something that you made. Like, you can't say something's inevitable that you made happen. Like, that's the thing. Whoever wanted the Wilks, you want to touch on?
It's the weird thing about it, which I don't even, they didn't really go into it in this documentary, and some things that if this even holds true, but they don't even talk about the fact that America was named after an Italian explorer, Amerigo Vespucci, I believe his name is. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, Christopher Columbus comes over here talking about, oh, well, we found this land. Go ahead and kneel and bless this and give it to the kingdom and give it to God. Then we go over here with this Italian guy over here eating his pasta and his tomato sauce. And then he over here talking about, oh, well, we're going to name this the United States. Man, if you don't get out of here with this BS talking about America, you already got Indians, Native Americans. You already got indigenous people. Whatever this continent you want to try to name it. It's like, how about you go up to one of them and say, like, oh, so what do you consider yourself? Because from the document, from what I saw, it was already a place of many nations, like tribes.
Oh,
It was already divided.
Yeah, trust me, it wasn't our. Let me be like, if you looked at the map before the age of discovery, versus what it looks like now, it was very similar in terms of they already had it split up the way it should have been split up.
Right. We'll give you a few names. Actually, we'll give you Dakota, North Dakota. We'll give you Oklahoma. We'll give you a few native names. We'll give you Nebraska. But
we give you whole unlivable places.
Right.
Yeah.
Go fend for yourself.
But you know what the sad part is? It just shows you the ignorance of people who live in the United States, because they say, I'm an American. But guess what? If you're a Central American, if you live in Honduras, you're an American. If you live in Brazil, you're an American. You live in Canada, you're American, dummy.
Right.
You live in the United States.
Right.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
It's just, oh man.
It shows you ignorance.
It's ignorance, and it's just disgusting. It's like, you're not human. When I say they, I'm talking about white people. During this time, they weren't human. That's what we call. That's what savages That's what we call people brutes. It says exterminate all the brutes, as we go back to the very beginning of this thing.
Right.
But the brutes were actually the European people were the brutes.
Yes.
Like that's the irony of this, of the title of this, and the way that it actually goes from forward to back.
And it's amazing when they used one of the paintings in the beginning, and it was just saying like the land with no people doesn't exist. It takes the killing and disposition of a place like that to be uninhabitable, and it's just you see these frontier men with guns and women, and they're trying to go forth and birth this nation, if you will, or use this manifest destiny. And it's like, yeah, but what's on the backside of that? You're not talking about how you just massacred a whole tribe of people.
Yeah. Go try to have a baby that's already been had.
Right. Like, try that again.
It's almost as foolish as yesterday. People say, "Hey man, you okay?" And I'm about to say, "I'm just an orphan. I'm 50. I'm not an orphan."
Exactly. I look orphan to you.
Right. And then they really kill me when they start talking about the discovery doctrine.
That's
basically
right,
if I show up at your house and you're not home, I discovered it, and it's mine now.
Right.
Yeah. Come on.
How dumb does that sound? How dumb, literally dumb does that sound? That is grounds of getting shot. You come on somebody else's property and say, "Yeah, I found it." It was like, is your house? Is your name on the deed? Is your name on the paperwork? Are you paying the rent?
It's a guy. What's funny though? I did a little research. It's a guy in Dallas, Texas, where you guys live, who used that, and now he has a glorious home. It was a foreclosed home that was just left over.
Did he use the squatting?
He used the squatter's right. And now it's his house, and they cannot take it back.
Yeah, haven't it been like 11 years or something like that he's been in that house?
You only need to stay there for 30 days.
Yeah,
it's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap. Remember we were telling you that at work.
What a freak.
Right. Yeah. The one thing we don't need, don't go to Forney. Squatters, do not go to Forney.
Hey, all right.
Specifically.
Yeah. No, come on.
No. I don't need them coming on my block. My future block. I need y'all to stay away.
Yeah, please don't try
far away.
Man.
All right. So May 2nd, 2011, that was when the United States, or the Navy SEALs, I should say, killed Osama bin Laden. And on that day, or during that week, if you will, they connected that to Geronimo, which was an adversary of, colonizing and taking over the territory. And, it was very interesting that the parallel that they did with that, but also it was good to see or kind of understand the background of Geronimo. But look, there's going to be people that are going to say, no, you're not going to do this. And we're going to do whatever it takes. And there was a lot of people. Like that. But whoever wanted to touch on that first.
Yeah, well, what sparked me when I heard the Geronimo thing is that was one of the few things that I actually got the opposite feeling when I was a kid versus what they were trying to put out there. Geronimo was a bad boy to us. It's like when you busting into a place, you hide Geronimo.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was an announcement of bad assery finna happen. So they tried to paint a negative picture of him, but by the time it made it to us, that wasn't negative,
Right.
But I think it is, it is that secret language that our government speaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the elite speak, that they try to get it past us. And I'm gonna tell you this, mark my words, right? It is that elitism that's gonna get them caught.
Oh,
right. They trying to be cute with it,
right?
And run something past us. Like, not only are we gonna do something that we should be shameful of, we gonna tell a little joke. We got a little side joke that we gonna tell with it, and it's that side joke that's gonna get you busted.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
To affirm what Dawk just said, there was a Tennessee senator this week said, and let's talk about the good and the bad about slavery. I'm just playing. Okay.
I saw something about that. I didn't click on the
Yeah, I
article,
did. I seen that. Yeah.
Another, but Ben, I don't know if you had time to catch that clip that I sent you, but in that movie, did you see that?
I did.
Yeah. So in that movie, when I watched that, you know, it was kind of mind blowing. Like, okay, we're literally naming. Dawk may have more insight on this than me. I mean, I come from a military family, but I've never really asked these questions. But you know, the fact that we're naming artillery, you know, after these tribes that white people tried to wipe out, but now we're gonna try to take these names and spray them on the side of Apache helicopters and $2.4 billion jets. You know, this movie and this doc series, like it combined those two, because she was like, oh, I just find it kind of funny that, you know, that's a Black Hawk, how the Army wanted to wipe us out, but yet they're using our names to pretty much spread terrorism, to pretty much spread like, hey, you owe us, so we coming back to get it, but we coming back to get it with the names that we tried to wipe out. You know, and then
to basically, I want to say this real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but basically, you're using this to do the same thing that you did to the natives. You're basically saying that goes back to Dawk again, like you're being cute with it. You already massacred people,
right?
Yeah.
But then you're gonna put it on the side, and you're gonna go to Vietnam, and you're gonna go to all around the world and say, we're in your business, and you need to do it how we're gonna do it, because we're always right, even though we're not.
And just know that we sent these Apaches in to clean it up. You know, it's just like, come on, man. Wow.
Yeah.
There's Tiki.
Rucker Park, as I like to call it. Rucker Park.
Go ahead, Dawk.
Yeah, no, I'm with it, man. It's the inside joke for me, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the terminology, you know, like Wilks said, whether it be the helicopters, whether it be this operation, these operation names, man. And it's like this, man. It's like you're being cruel already.
Right.
And this is the icing on top of that cruelty, you know, and to me, you know, it wasn't necessary, and it's not. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it's cute at all. And like I said, I done got caught trying to be cute before. Trust me. So that is not the way to go.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't believe that at all.
That cute terminology, that's what wakes some people up. Some people would have completely missed it had you not brought that up, right? You know, some people wasn't paying attention to the mission. Some people wasn't paying attention to how much money you spent on that helicopter until you called it a Black Hawk.
Right.
Until you called it an Apache. They wasn't paying no attention to it.
Right.
You know, but you had to get cute.
And also, it's being, I think they're made here. Wasn't that Lockheed Martin? They talked Lockheed Martin and what was the other one?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Lockheed's got probably the biggest military contract, I believe. I could be wrong, but
and that's arrogance. That's like we're gonna cut off your hand,
right?
And we're gonna have you hold it and take a picture. It's that. It's that over and over and over again.
And then it's like, okay, well, we're gonna release the Chinook, but then we're gonna hit you with this Tomahawk. Come on, come on.
Well, I mean, look, we can even make it even simpler than weapons. The verbiage that we use to insult people, Indian given. They never gave you anything.
Right.
Right.
They didn't give you anything.
And maybe
certainly hadn't taken it back yet.
Right.
And it talked about Indian country, the Indian country term, and it talked about when I mean, it's just it's basically a campaign to smear the natives that were already here. Like, how many more times can you insult somebody? Like, now, one of the things that was probably even more appalling was the kill anything that moves. When they had that going on, $5 a head, 15 cents a scalp. When I heard that, I'm like, man, and I know money was different, but that's
right.
That's chump change now and back then.
Nah, not back then. Let's think about it. The enslaved people were off. Well, they were supposed to get 40 acres, a mule, and $100. That's the create a legacy. And I found out in 2019 September that my great, I don't know how many greats it back. She made 17 cents a year.
Wow.
Well, she profited from sharecropping 17 cents a year.
17 cents a year.
Wow.
So it may have been
5 cents. I mean, 5 cents might have been. But maybe that putting a price on somebody's head.
Yeah. I mean, putting a price on somebody's head is just
yeah.
Or I looked into it, that $5 thing. They used to get white people start claiming that they were Indian after they said you can get $5 to be an Indian.
Wow.
Well, I'm in.
Right.
Me too.
Talk about the biggest perpetrators of Indian culture artwork. Like, are you really seriously? Really? Okay.
They're hippies.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
they want it all.
Right.
They literally want everything.
I have to say,
the definition of greed.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen a white person into African art like that and go into their house and have African pictures. I could be wrong, but you go into most white people's house, you got Indian pictures, you got the horse walking down the edge of you got statues in the house. Really? That's what you're doing?
Let's not talk about arrowheads.
Right. No,
they even name their stadiums that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like.
Oh, man. Hey, if we get into sports, man. We've been here all night. College,
right.
Little League,
right.
Pro, semi-pro.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Just
it's a rabbit hole of many things.
St. John's and Marquette.
No.
Off the top of my head, they had to change the name.
Yeah, you said they had to change the name?
Yeah, they used to be the Warriors and the Red Storm.
I do remember that. I do remember that with St. John's.
And
I
then
remember that with Marquette, though.
Yeah, and then these things, once they've been changed, now they're worth money. So you're still profiting. Because if I get a Cleveland Indians hat with the logo on it, no telling how much that's going to be worth down the road in the future.
Or the Braves.
Right.
The thing that trips me out is, how are you offended that somebody is offended
You're
that
right.
you took their land and now you're making fun of them?
Right.
And you're mad because they're saying, hey, man, knock it off.
Right. It's just like I told Ben, when Beyonce came out at the Super Bowl and Giuliani's up here, trying to point things out. I told Ben, I was like, nobody knew they were offended until somebody said you were offended. Until he literally came out and said, oh, you should be in an outrage. You should be in an uproar. Nobody was offended until he said, oh, you know what? You should be upset at that. Oh, you didn't notice she put up the power fist, the black fist. You didn't see that. You should be upset at that.
So what's funny is basically a friend of mine who will not comment on here, she basically said that, so basically the topic is the gentrification of America. And I'm like, exactly.
It is.
That's it. That's it. America was gentrified before those rundown downtown neighborhoods were.
Right.
So that's exactly right.
Right. But there's gentrification going on in every urban city, if you will, in
downtown in any major city in America right now.
Right.
And
they've been attacking this section of LA called Africa Town. It's been, you know how everybody always says, but we don't have any place to shop. It's like Chinatown in LA, and in Alabama they have Africa Towns, and they're attacking.
Which I have to honestly say that I have not heard anybody talk about it.
Yeah, man, it's been going on for better than 20 years. They got a section that's black-owned, black businesses is LA. It's been thriving for more than 20 years, and they're like, hey man, we need that. And then it's an African town that go as far back as enslavement. After enslavement ended, the brothers and the sisters said, okay, y'all don't know how to farm, we do, y'all gonna stop. We out. And they've been down there since, and now they're trying to take that.
Shout out to Just Joe, also Sister Shirley, Bridges. Hey, it seemed like you got to put sister in front of Shirley. So, you can't just say Shirley. That's not fair.
Wow.
You got to say sister.
Really?
Hey, you must be drinking the same thing Wilks drinking tonight.
Hey, I'm not in my element, so I'm just letting it fly.
We got your back, Captain.
Deaconess.
All right. Right, Deaconess Shirley. That is, I know a Deaconess Shirley too. She was a trustee and a deaconess. You know, some people do double duty.
Read the minutes.
Jesus.
The second when this part came up, she said, "Y'all petty." Hey, I'm sorry. If you look up Shirley in the dictionary, it got sister in front of it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Anyway, the Second Amendment to kill natives and slaves, when he brought that point up, it kind of was like, wow. I didn't necessarily look at it like that, but that does make sense. That's where cops started, hunting down slaves.
That's where it was established. And a matter of fact, if you go any deeper into that, they tell you, oh, they're savages. You need to take up arms. You need to hoard these weapons. They're coming after your women in culture. It's like, but you literally docked on the shores and just pretty much berated everything. Like, you just destroyed everything. Like, really? This is what you're doing? Come on, man. You got to do better.
Okay, hold on a second. I know the person controlling this account is not who I think it is. So I know.
Oh, Lord. Really?
I'm the only serious one. False. And the lie detector test determined that was wrong.
That was false.
Go ahead, Doc. You want to touch on what we're talking about? You frozen?
He ain't frozen.
He ain't froze. Oh, he is froze.
Oh, the way he said he had a storm over there though.
Maybe it's,
it may have took him out. He didn't text us, did he?
Hey, man.
It's like he got sniped out by the storm.
He sent that last message. He might got knocked out.
Man, Tone just asked which documentary are we talking about. Tone, the documentary that we're speaking about is Exterminate the Brutes.
Bam.
It is on HBO Max, and it might be on HBO On Demand at this point. It's a 4-part series, Tone. It speaks about the beginning of, basically, it shows the domination of the European culture, the brutalization that has been put upon the entire world by the European culture. It shows you how they ventured over here to the Western Hemisphere, both North, South, and Central America, as well as the Caribbean. It shows you how they experimented on our brothers and sisters on the continent. It shows how their reign of terror has even extended to Asia. It is extremely informative to the lady who thought we were just picking on white people. Hey, man, hit dog holler. That's all I'm going to say. And for those who think I'm eating these onion rings because I'm starving.
But see, that's the also I want to stop. I want to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Dawk did get knocked out. He got knocked out by the storm.
Okay.
If you try to come back in on your phone without the Wi-Fi, we having to mix it up.
This is the issue I have with stuff like this. We've got to get to a point where we're not afraid to see a black person say white people. We got to get to a point where they don't feel like they're being picked on because a black person is making a comment. But you're quick to say, "Oh, this black person did that." But if a black person would say, "Oh, this white person is doing," that's what it is. What do you want me to call it? I'm not being racist. I'm not, just because I'm pro-black doesn't mean I'm anti-white. Just because I say one thing and you feel like, oh, you're picking on me. No, I'm not picking on you. It's just like with this this documentary. It's like I'm trying to get you to understand what is happening and what is still going on in different setups and different settings. That's all that is. I don't understand why they get so bent out of shape over there.
Because, see, this is my theory, Wilks. People know when you do something wrong or you do something terribly wrong, like brutalize 75-80% of the world,
right?
You're going to be forced to apologize. And people equate apology. Well, since we live in this capitalist system, people equate an apology to a financial gain. Most people are not looking like it's this brother. I was reading about this brother in New York about 5 years ago. He got brutalized by the NYPD. He got this sister. She's a super duper sister. She's an attorney. She has her own show on Sirius Satellite Radio named Laree Daniel Favors. He asked Laree Daniel Favors to be his attorney. Now, so Laree ain't no joke. But guess what? He told Laree, all I want is an apology. I don't want the money.
Yeah.
See, they think a lot of people who have been part of this brutalization believe because I'm a capitalist, because money is my God, money must be yours too. Maybe sometimes people just want respect. People want you to respect them as another human being.
And with me, it's like I don't even need you to apologize. I just want you to see what I'm not trying to make you apologize, and I'm not trying to make you feel guilty of what happened. I'm just trying to get you to understand that this existed. This is something that went on, but you don't want to address it because it makes you feel uncomfortable. Good. Be uncomfortable. That's the whole point.
Imagine how it makes us feel. Imagine how it makes us feel every time we see somebody shot in the street. I mean, imagine how it makes us feel when we think about what our ancestors experienced.
Yeah, so don't go keep dragging the dead dog around that, what are they going to do about it in their own community? We'll handle that in a minute. But right now, we're going to handle the situation, what's going on right now.
And then, like I was having a discussion last night, everybody wants to say, see, Wilks and HRap don't get along. They need to get along. Nobody says, why don't Wilks and HRap get along?
Right.
What's the root cause of their problem? Because you can say, hey, Wilks, HRap, stop arguing on the show. Well, why do they argue?
Right.
If you don't ever determine why we argue, we will continue to argue, fuss, and fight until the end of time.
Right. Exactly.
HRap has an aggressive tone. HRap always running his damn mouth. Maybe Wilks is tired of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you'll never get to it, the source of it, unless you don't address it and face it head on.
Right. Hey, Dawk, if you got some headphones, put some headphones in your phone if you're on your phone right now.
Okay.
But go ahead and touch on while you're doing that. Go ahead and touch on kind of what we're talking about.
No, I mean, I think the points are covered very well, man. And one of the things that actually, kind of rubbed me the wrong way is that, get over it mentality, so to speak, and it's been this long ago, and I didn't do it, why am I being held accountable for this? Well, you are reaping the rewards for this, so you can't pick and choose what you want to be, quote unquote, held accountable for or reaping the rewards for. So it comes with it, so it's really a tired tale, and before I got knocked off, one of the things I was talking about is that those things are still happening today. You can see it if you just on any social media platform, people are being told what to think and how to think, and they don't even know it.
Yep. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And if you think otherwise, you this, or you soft, or you that, this is what you down with. It's like, but you don't know where my stance. Just because we disagree, you just assume that I'm in this bunch or in this pile of whatever you're trying to put me in.
Yeah.
DJ Ramal in the building. Thank you, Ramal. It's always good to see you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that. He said absolutely on reaping the rewards. It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Because people, my favorite, my least favorite of my favorite things to hear them say is, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, every time I get a pair of boots, you take them.
Good night.
Right.
I mean, really? Like, come on,
right.
Man. It's just like I said, you want me to do it, but then when I officially do it, then you want to come take them. Oh, I don't deserve to have those. Oh, those not the boots I was talking about. What are you talking about?
And that just talks about the thievery. Like you don't want anybody else to have anything.
Right.
So you take it. You try. You not only do you try, but you just take it.
Right.
You don't ask. And that's the thing. That's the thing that I think most affected me with this documentary is when the natives said, we'll help you. we'll help you. They were already helping. Right. They said, we will help you. We can share. It doesn't need. You don't need to kill us.
Yeah,
we're offering a helping hand, and they said, no, we don't want the help. We just want to kill you.
Right.
That's the part that hurt the most.
Yeah, they asked. I think it was episode 1. They asked, "Why would you try to take what we're trying to give you for free? We're willingly giving it to you. Why would you try to take what's being given to you?" You know, imagine that you go to some place, you coming out of a ball game, and they giving away free Gatorades, and you push the dude and say, "Hey, give me these Gatorades." Hey man, we giving them. They free,
right?
They for free.
Why you push me?
It's kind of
there's a literal Gatorade truck right there that's giving them out.
Right.
You try to fight for it.
And just not to jump too far ahead, but Dawk had said something in there. It was like later on they're going to talk about, and even Ben had mentioned this. There's a point where I believe in 1920 where they kind of erected the first border wall, and it's like, you've had an immigration problem or fear. Let's just be honest. Mm-hmm. You've had an immigration fear because you're scared that what you took, what you've taken, what you continue to take, you think somebody's going to come back and reap those and take it back. It's like, that's not on me. That's on you. That's on your ancestry.
That's called karma.
Yeah. Yep. That's how we got. Look, Texas didn't become a state just because it fell out of the sky. That Revolutionary War between Mexico and Texas didn't happen because, we had a disagreement. No, you pretty much stole that from Mexico.
Thievery.
Right.
Thievery, savagery, whatever other term you can bring up, is how America became what it is.
Right.
And I put down in my notes, history continues to repeat itself. Or no, I said this country continues to repeat history.
Oh yeah.
Over and over and over again, in the same form, just a different face.
Right. And the biggest thing I've always heard is that, the chickens have pretty much come home to roost. That's what it is.
Yeah. And we haven't seen the worst of those chickens coming home to roost. Mark my word.
Yeah, they some buzzers flying over the head now. Because if you look at look at this. This is starting to look like Rome.
Right.
It's starting to look like Rome. Everything being run by Rome, and then boom.
And Nero pillowed while Rome burned.
Because you wanted things more than you wanted peace.
Right.
Get Lamar comment on there.
If you accept it for free, you owe them your appreciation. If you strong arm, if you owe them nothing and can proclaim that you did what you had to do to get it.
Yeah. Wow. And what was that comment you made last week? Those that the end get to rewrite history?
Yeah, the victor gets to tell how it went down. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because that's
none of you were here, so I guess I'll tell the story.
In fact, in this episode, they talked about the surviving Native Americans. See, the plan was not to have any survivors.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That was the plan. That's part of the problem today, right? Is the fact that there were survivors to tell the story, to tell the truth, right? And that wasn't part of the plan.
And what Dawk just said right there should have been that is a lot of meat there, because I cannot imagine. Maybe I would have to be a time traveler to see what would happen if you wiped out a people that are not here to explain what really happened.
Yeah, man.
It'd be like the dinosaurs. You would be like archaeologists. You would literally have to dig up bones.
But you do have to do it now anyway.
Yeah, you have to piece things together to get the rest of the story. Like it's like blacking out, and you can't fill in that piece that you missed when you blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, watch this. I'm finna blow y'all minds. Again, I had a conversation last night. There was a gentleman. He literally told me this. Our community is morally bankrupt. And what we need to do is stop making excuses. And you know what? The Black community is the only community that expects to be happy in the world. And I didn't get a chance to respond because the phone got cut off and it was the end of the conversation. Yeah. But I want to say my next statement out of my mouth was going to be, well, maybe we expect to be happy because it's in the Constitution. Life, liberty,
and the pursuit of happiness.
Right.
Maybe that's why we see we don't expect to be gazillionaires.
Right.
But we want to be happy. And obviously it don't take a lot to make us happy because we used to be laughing, joking, and singing in the midst of facing, looking hell directly in the eye.
Right.
So how about this? You leave us the hell alone and we would.
Yeah. And what's funny about that, man, and what I got with that life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and that quote unquote contract, so to speak, is it's like a lot of friendships nowadays. You never talk about, it's a one-sided contract. Oh, I thought we was friends. We never talked about
I didn't
whether we were friends or not. Did we make an agreement? Hey, let's take care of each other, man. You know, whether it be a romantic relationship, whether it be a platonic relationship, homeboys, whatever the case may be, you never communicate and talk about it. It's a one-sided agreement.
Right.
You know, I thought this. You know, and that's one of the things that I love about this podcast, and I'm trying to take it to other podcasts, is the agreement of disagreement. You know, and hey, that might be a book in that, boy. You know, the agreement of disagreement, right? Like we've agreed that there will be times that we're going to disagree, and we're cool with that.
And that's what makes it. Yeah, that's what makes it.
HRap got an invitation to Dallas. He got an invitation to one of the guest bedrooms when he come. Right? Come on, let's go. You know, and if we agree later on this show, I'm not going to rescind that invitation. You know, shoot, we see things differently. If anything, hey, let's chop that up. Tell me what you were saying on that. You know, give me a little bit more. You know, where you get it from. You know,
you're not going European give.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the deal. You know, it's a one-sided agreement. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. But someone said those laws, that it was the other movie we reviewed, right? Those laws were not written with you in mind.
Oh,
that Constitution was not written with you in mind.
Yeah, my wife says that all the time. She, you know, and she'll say it. You're like, yeah, but who were they written for? Because they don't look like you. It's like you forgot about that part. Oh well, they're the slaves. We're the.
And hey, check this perspective out. I don't want that to be the case. I fought for this country. Hey, let me tell you something, man. When I was 17 years old, I went to basic training. Dude, do you know from the age of about 17 to 25, I could not hear the national anthem without crying?
Yeah.
Understand that. I mean that wholeheartedly. A vulnerable moment here. I cannot listen to it without crying because of what it meant, because what I had to go through to fight for it, right? Yes. Going through basic training, going through AIT, etc. I couldn't. Right? You know, so I don't want this to be the case for whoever's listening or who may listen later on. I don't want this truth to be the truth. But the truth is like rain. It doesn't care who it falls on.
Right. And no, he's right. Because, I mean, think about the soldiers that came home.
Give me my love offering, Ben. I see it.
You know, the soldiers that came home and got disrespected. I mean, that's a big deal that Dawk just said. I mean, I can't even. I went and fought for your country, but then I come back and I can't get you to fight for me. Right. I can't get you to uphold that Constitution that you said was written for a perfect union. When am I going to see it?
No, Wilks. A more perfect union.
Yes, a more perfect union. Yes.
Because it was already perfect. Right. We wanted it to be better.
Right. Ever changing.
But check this out, though, HRap and Wilks. But fast forward 20-25 years, last Maverick game I went to, last Cowboy game I went to, last Ranger game I went to, national anthem come up. The guy who cried from age 17 to 25, America, listen to this, the guy who could not hold his tears back from age 17 to 25 sat on his butt when the national anthem was played.
Yeah,
I get it.
Because I no longer believed in the sentiment.
I get it.
And guess what? I was hoodwinked to believe in it from 17 to 25.
Well, how about this? We're known as the most non-patriotic culture in America, but we fought in the Revolutionary War, we fought in the Civil War, we fought in the War 1812, we fought in World War I and II, we fought in Vietnam, we fought in Korea.
Buffalo Soldiers. Oh, I'm sorry.
Buffalo Soldiers, Gulf War.
I'm sorry, dude. I freed black people because I really didn't want to free black people. But since we freed them, maybe we can have them join us and then fight the South.
Yeah.
Maybe
we could use that we criticize and that we loved having as slaves. Opportunity. Opportunity.
Well, how about this? You were getting your butt kicked from 60 to 63. 64, right. You enlisted us. 64, you gave us guns. 65, the war was over.
So, HRap, I think you said it on one of your podcasts. I don't know to the end of the bench or Jawjackers or where I heard you say it, but you didn't free the slave. Abraham Lincoln didn't free the slaves. The slaves freed the slaves.
Yeah, he was reluctant.
You were getting your butt handed to you before we got there.
Yeah, he was reluctant to free him. Yeah, he was trying to send it back. He was like, okay, well, we'll give you this. Maybe we can send you back agreement. No.
Hey, for all you Abraham Lincoln lovers out there, Abraham Lincoln set aside $300 per enslaved African to send you back to Libya. Right. I mean, Liberia. Yeah. Easy guy. Easy guy.
And I think Wilks said it earlier today, and I think it needs to be restated. And the banner, we need to be running this banner across all these episodes. To fight for my blackness is not an indictment on your whiteness. Yeah. They are mutually exclusive. One has nothing to do with the other, but it is a convenient defense for you. Right? Instead of just right now, you're doing what HRap always says: don't listen to respond, listen to understand. Don't try to defend yourself because I'm coming to try to persecute you. But see, you look at it that way because that's what you've done. See, check this out. A cheater gonna always think his girlfriend is cheating. Listen to me, ladies out there. If your dude is coming at you, always trying to look at your phone and see if you're cheating and stuff, it's because he's cheating. So when they look at us and say, what are you trying to accomplish by this rhetoric that you speak?
Right.
What are you trying to accomplish by, you're trying to be divisive? It's because you're doing what you think I'm trying to do.
Right. He's just trying to cover that backside. That's all.
Was that D-Jax? The D-Jax?
That's D-Great.
What?
D-Jax?
No. I'm talking about the guy that was doing all them videos, and then he
I thought he was trying to read his name, man.
Nah, I know who that is. Wasn't that guy's name D-Jax or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Darren Jackson or something, yeah.
All right. There was a comment that was a quotable that said mortgaging people to mortgage people.
Right.
And I was
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the fact that they, I guess outlawed it in Europe, but they were still secretly doing it in the United States. It's like, hey, I got these two blackies over here if you want to trade me for some of those right there. Like, really? That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
It's going to be a big thing in the future.
Right. Trafficking, human trafficking.
Yeah.
Right.
Still a thing.
Yeah, that was a quotable in the wrong direction, not a good quotable. The Wounded Knee Massacre. I wanted to bring this up. Estimated Indians killed 300, survivors 51. 4 men, 47 women. Army casualties was 25, and then he went to the movie side of it, and he had the general sitting down, basically doing a press conference and answering questions, and it sounded just like I don't care, like okay, whatever, they died, and next question. Yeah, we shot him because he was armed. I don't know if he said he was armed.
Yep.
But that sounds familiar, don't it?
That's out there for my life.
Yep.
Of course.
I thought he was armed.
He even used the term fake media.
Yeah, he said fake media, yeah. But I just thought 47 women and 4 men.
Right. Think about that, HRap.
That's a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised if political strategists go back and find movies like that to use that banter, to use that rhetoric.
Hey, exactly. Exactly. What worked? What inspired these people? This certain sect of people, heck, and the thing here, like I said, we're talking about uncomfortable truths here, right? you know, and part of what they're saying is that this was the birth of white supremacy.
Right.
This whole concept, it was the birth of it. So yeah, if I want to know what to do to spark something, I'm going to go back to its origins.
Right.
What got it popping in the first place? You know, you're trying to revive a relationship. See, this is not only we just not reviewing movies. This is also relationship advice today.
Right. Let's go.
You trying to revive a relationship? What got it popping in the first place? Candlelit dinner. Get it popping again.
Yeah.
Replace America Badu or something. Sade.
The relationship pastor tonight. You taking love offering to relationship pastor.
Dr. Love.
Dr. Love, yeah.
The pastor said, don't let her listen to Luther too long.
Exactly.
But like, just to go back even further, like Dawk said, let's just take a couple steps back. Let me see. They got the gunpowder at 1400. These people invented it in 1100 and nobody died.
Right.
The moment you get it, you start killing people.
Massacre. And that was the Chinese, right? That got it first. And they were like, nah, we're just gonna send it over here. We're not even gonna use it. And the Europeans get it and they're like, oh yeah, it's go time now. That was the last episode. I think that was 3, where it talked about basically killing people at large or from a distance.
What purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Miles Monroe.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I talked about the origin of white supremacy. In fact, Raoul Peck himself called this docuseries the origin story of white supremacy. Period. That's what he himself called it.
Yeah. He pulled the Band-Aid off, then he poured salt on it, and then he basically stabbed that same wound. Like over and over again. Right, exactly.
And then covered it back up with the salt.
Right. Think about this, man. We done watched a 4-part series, right? We've covered it in 4 different weeks, each episode lasting about an hour. And think about how much more meat and untold story there is to tell. You know, right? Yeah. That, he talked about this docuseries is unearthing hundreds of years of stories that have been told and buried in colonialism.
Right. And
hundreds of years of death, of stealing, of robbing, of cheating, of killing, of all this covered in hundreds of years of colonialism.
And then to turn it around and make it look like it's heroism. It's these were brave, and these were brave men and women that went through that frontier and protected that legacy that they want to start and leave. It's like, but where's the other side of that?
Yeah.
That's somebody got to die.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For me to shine.
Now there was one part that I thought was powerful. It showed world leaders. So it showed world leaders standing up, and it said the absence of ridicule, and I couldn't get the last and complacency. It was something else in complacency.
And no remorse.
And
he said no remorse.
That's it. No. That's it. They have money in their pockets, and they can care less.
Yeah,
they can care less what happens.
Yeah, the imagery of that. The imagery of that. See, you talked about the viewership and whatnot on some of these prior episodes of where the Fourcast has discussed this docuseries, right? And I encourage everybody, if you're just tuning in tonight, go back and look at those first 3 episodes of how we broke it down, but actually go back and watch the film. And some of the imagery that is utilized here paints such a picture that we can't even vocalize. We can't verbalize it, but it's done something inside, right? It has turned on something inside. It has awakened something inside just with this imagery that we can't even speak.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's right. I mean, just like I've told Ben at work, I mean, the things that I've learned in school and outside of school and just reading, it's like, but when you go back to school books, they pause at a point. They pause and then they detour. It's like, but you didn't finish telling the rest of that story. You didn't tell what's behind the curtain on that.
Right.
You just kept going in a different direction. You're like, okay, well, here's Christopher Columbus. All right, we're going to talk about Fiesta Day down in San Antonio.
Yeah, one of the critics basically said they have mythologized shameful moments in U.S. history, and they've worked long and hard to mythologize shameful moments in U.S. history. And lately, we've been getting a lot of comparison to Germany and how they handled the warts of their history, right? And they said how they handled it, and the reason why they can overcome it and that country can move on is because they actually took time to discuss it and say, this is who we were. That was the deal. We did it. We were wrong. It shouldn't have happened. They put it out there. Think about it, right? How many times when you've done something wrong or something you thought you were going to get in trouble for, that you just came right and told the truth? Think about how easy it was to get through that situation.
Right.
It was
I should have did this early.
but when you try to lie about it and try to, make it look like something it wasn't, on the back end, it's going to be 10 times harder than if you'd have just told the truth up front.
Yeah. From the jump.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. But see, when you tell the truth like that, you have someone to answer to. Our parents were the people we answered to. And you knew the consequences of telling this lie, get caught in this lie. What are the consequences of these people?
That's a great point.
It's not one.
It's not one. Right?
They don't have. There's no one to give them a consequence.
But theoretically, then, so here come an adversarial point to that. So theoretically, since there is no one to have to answer to, that's even more reason you should just tell the truth. There's nobody there. It's not like
you want peace and harmony.
Yeah.
But you're afraid that we're gonna say, okay, we want the reparations now since you told the truth. Right. Well, what if we were to agree and say, if you just tell the truth, we don't. Right. We just want the truth. That's it. Right. Be honest about it. Can you tell the truth then?
Let's not even. I want my bread. Nah. I want what's coming to me, Jack. Right. But maybe they think. They think we're saying peace and harmony, or they're saying peace and harmony, or maybe they think we saying a piece of your ass for harmony.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, well, it was this sister, man. She gave this impassioned speech. It's on YouTube. I don't even know her name. She was in Minnesota. She gave this impassioned speech, and she ended it with saying this. And maybe they should take note of that speech. And she ended it by saying, white people better be glad black people just want peace and not revenge.
Oh, that's strong, man. That's strong. But they don't believe that though, man. They see, here's the deal. That's a good point, and it brings up this point, right? So again, Raoul Peck, his mission, he's talking about the indigenous people, right? But there are so many similarities as to how African Americans have been treated in this country, right? And that's the thing. We've been painted as savages so long, they believe their own press. They don't believe that it is peace that we want. They don't believe it is harmony we want. They do believe that it's revenge that we want. Right. And if they just tried to look at it from a common sense perspective, they would see this is not how you go about getting revenge. We're doing way too much talking. And I promise you, if it was revenge we wanted, we wouldn't be talking out in front of you right now.
Right.
We would be having this conversation off air.
Yeah, it's more talks of trying to just come to the table, man. I'm not even trying to get you to apologize. It's like,
but it goes back to what you said, Dawk. The reason you checking my phone because you're a slime ball.
Right.
And the reason you think I want revenge is because that's what you would do.
Right.
But I ain't you.
Get Tony Morgan, yeah.
Honoring the truth means that you have to accept the blame, and they too narcissistic for that.
Exactly.
He got narcissistic right, pretty good. I'm
You need to pick up the letters every week for Ben.
Oh, that's another good question. Lamar Williams, look at his comment. Great question.
Like.
Oh.
But see, here the deal though, HRap, it's not just white folks no more.
All right.
Think about it. That's right. On your podcast this weekend, you talked about some of those black names. right? You know, what have you said lately? You said just because they skin folk, they ain't kin folk, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, man. We use white folks metaphorically as a broad brush. But we talking about people who are in power, who are in play, the people who are basically. We can just stop saying white folks and start using Tariq Nasheed's term, the dominant society, because like I said, like Dawk said, I said on my show, I said, yeah, I'm saying white folks, but guess what? I'm not gonna sit around here and say I'm not ignorant enough to say all white folks are left-handed.
Right.
Because there are no exacts. But I'm not gonna say all black folks are right-handed because there are no exacts. But what I am gonna do is this. I'm gonna look at history and I'm gonna look at how few people stood up. So I'm gonna give y'all 25 to maybe 30% of the people on the other side of my culture can't be trusted. And it's 25 to 30% of the people inside of my culture that cannot be trusted. Right. Because as I stated Saturday, it's a lot of brothers and sisters out here. They don't want us to get right. They want to be the reason we get right.
Right.
See, it's cool to let Dawk shine as long as he don't free us. Because if he frees us, everybody gonna remember Dawk. Just like they looking at it like, hey man, it was really Ralph Abernathy that told him to deal with King. And nobody talks about Ralph Abernathy. But if you free, it don't make a difference who free.
That's right.
Right. Exactly.
Lamar said, what about the federal government? That is a dominant society. The federal government is just a red herring. It is a group of people in this country who are rich and powerful, who control any and everything. And guess what? What's up, dog? They listening now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody listening now.
a part of those 600 views from that first episode is a bunch.
Yeah, he asked, Lamar said, who is they? And he said the federal government. Here's another answer for you. Who is they? Who are they? They are the architects of oppression. Right. Whoever has a hammer, whoever is helping to build that oppressive society, they are the architects of oppression. So whoever fits in that category is who we're addressing, is who we're talking about, and is who Raoul Peck is talking about, and he's talking about how those architects of oppression came to be. So that's who they are. We can't identify them all. Guess what? Some of us were just at eating dinner during Mother's Day with some of them yesterday. In your own family is what I'm trying to say, right? You know, so they are everywhere, and that's why we are referring to them as they, because some of them are yet to be identified. Some of them, due to our hierarchy in the White House over the last 5 years, four out of the last 5 years or so, are now more visible than they were, right? But make no mistake about it, whoever the architects of oppression are, that's who we're referring to.
Because when you got people like Tim Scott and Vice President Harris, it's millions of them. I mean, thousands of them out there. Hey, racism don't exist. Really?
Right.
So, have you seen anything over the past 4 years?
Right. I mean,
forget if you've seen anything. Have you gotten any side eye looks as you walking in the park?
Hey, B, how about this? Let's remove all the rhetoric spread by the last administration, because people love to put that other dude, the former president, out there. He the poster boy for racism. But last time I checked, Mitch McConnell ran the Congress.
Right.
So nothing got through without Mitch McConnell. But don't nobody ever say Mitch McConnell's with his black hand behind. How you a white man with black hands listening to those? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But
poor circulation.
All I want to know is, why is it that it is 48 states down here between the borders and between the oceans, and 43 of them are trying to enact those same laws they put in play in Georgia. So you mean to tell me it's illegal to have somebody water while they waiting to vote?
Right.
Yeah, really.
You're gonna make it more difficult to do this. See, we keep saying white folks because we're speaking from a black perspective, but guess what? It's probably some dudes in Kentucky, or some dudes in Bama, or some dudes somewhere talking about The government makes me sick, Jack. On YouTube too.
Right.
Oh yeah, you better.
Oh definitely. Oh definitely. You better believe it.
But
Now,
we say white folks because that's who's driving the bus. When we get hit by the bus, that's who's driving.
Mm-hmm.
And when we need the support, those are the people who are opposing support. And I'm not going to do this Asian, white, black thing, but it's awful strange that, you know what? Pow, brother died. Choke out. Pow, brother died. Sister died. You know what, man? Y'all need to stop killing us. Black lives matter too. Well, blue lives matter. Asian lives matter. True.
Right.
And they got a law passed with the
y'all got
Clintons.
a law passed.
Right.
And the people, they passed that law to further create separations between us and the Asians. Yeah, you ain't gonna see no Asian dudes out at the black. You ain't gonna see many Asian Black Lives Rally matter, but that's neither here nor there. You can't be mad at the person who got something done. Get mad at the person who did it and didn't do it for you. Again, Dawk, I mentioned on my show, we're trained to complain just like this. All four of us go to a restaurant. We get food poisoning. Who do we complain to? We cuss out the waitress, then we cuss out the manager. There are laws established in the United States of America that we can sue the food company, not the chef, not the restaurant where they got the food. Because we're saying they got this chicken from Purdue, it wasn't contaminated when it left that damn place. And then this dude, all he did was cook it, and that lady or man, all he did was edit it to you. That's not guilty. It's the other people. So if we stop complaining, Dawk and Ben, and stop complaining,
on something. He is on something. I hope they hear that. And see, I'm gonna tell you like this: forget the exterminate the brutes, because we on something else right now. And just simply the comments are generating a whole different topic that, in my estimation, is much more valuable to us as a people than breaking down. You can go back and watch the movie. Now we own something, right?
Yeah.
I disagree. This is what Exterminate the Brutes is for, to trigger conversations like this.
And I'm gonna go out on a branch and say this, because unfortunately, as quick as that Asian law got passed, the only reason they got passed because George Floyd had to die. Simple as that. Because if he hadn't have died, if none, Coke wouldn't have come out and stood up against what happened in Georgia. Xbox wouldn't talk about let's honor black video game creators. All of a sudden, we got people wanting to put black commercials and black businesses. Google wants to put black businesses on the map. It's all because George Floyd died. You wouldn't even heard of this.
Right. Wow.
Now it's a thing to honor. Yeah, now it's a thing to honor people of color. But on the flip side of that, it's like, what's taking you so long? Why did you drag your feet on that?
Yeah.
And you're still on the fence about it.
Because we don't complain. We complain to Dawk. We complain to Wilks. We complain to Trey. No, that throw that in there. But we complain to each other. We don't go. We don't immobilize. We don't organize, and then we don't get anything. Oh man, see, they ain't gonna do nothing. How in the entire hell has the John Lewis anti-lynching bill been on the deck since 1986?
Right.
He has been, we went from middle age to old to dead, and it's still not there.
Right.
And see, and again, what we do is we blame Donald Trump for this. We blame this guy for this. No, every single solitary person who's been in government in the United States of America since 1986, it is your fault. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, both Bush, Reagan, Mitch McConnell, Thorne Hatch, Newt Gingrich, what's the dude with the slick dude who I can't think of his name, but he in the anti-black violence videos now. He used to be Speaker of the House before Mitch.
Oh yeah. Is that from Wisconsin? He's from Wisconsin.
Either Wisconsin or Kentucky, one of the two.
Yeah, I can't think of that guy's name. I know who you're talking about.
Even he's speaking out against it. Now, Newt Gingrich is speaking out against racism. Knock it off.
Right. That's what I said. It unfortunately now it's becoming fashionable to speak.
Right.
And we've
with with no results.
Right. Yeah, because it's fashion. Because it's fashion. It's not substantive.
Yeah,
that's
right.
why.
That's why I said now all of a sudden these companies want to come out and say, "Oh, let's pour more money into black businesses." You should have been doing that. You should have been. That's
the norm.
Vote counts, but you don't pour into the community. But once again, also like HRap said, we only talk to the door. We don't open it and talk to the people on the other side of it.
Yeah,
you gotta speak truth to power.
I wanted to touch on this what Tony Morgan said: principalities in high places. That's it right there.
That's word right there.
Yeah, there's so many different ways you can look at that, and hopefully, folks, as soon as you see that comment, don't check out and immediately think Christianity, right? Because again, we're talking a spiritual situation, right? And it don't matter whether it's Christianity, whether it's your ancestors, it don't matter. We're talking a spirituality right now, and in spiritual warfare. So, hey, principalities in high places, some of them have white faces.
Right.
Right. That's high space places in all types of positions. Like HRap said, that had and still have the ability to make decisions, and they don't. Because they just look the other way.
It's like being rich versus being wealthy. There's a difference with being rich and being wealthy. Like that's long time. That's long lasting right there. That becomes generational. That gets passed down. That gets established.
Let's go to this question by Ramal. What effect did it have?
By who?
Ramal. That's what he said his name is.
Yeah, that's his name. DJ Ramal. That's his name.
I thought Ben was having a pronunciation issue again.
What effect did it have when Clinton apologized for slavery? If any, was it a step in the right direction or just empty words with no corrective action?
Well, see, I think that's the mistake right there. We don't need you to. Well, I don't need you to apologize, but I don't want to speak for everybody. But
that's right. See,
I need you to affect. I need you to affect the future. Like we know the past did happen.
Right.
Thank you for that apology. But what are you going to do for the future so that we don't have more George Floyds? We don't have more 15-year-olds getting shot in the car.
Right. Because I don't see the Egyptians saying I'm sorry to Jerusalem and the Israelites. So, I mean, yeah, sorry about you making those pyramids. I apologize. Whoops.
My bad.
Yeah, sorry about that. We'll give you a mummy.
Yeah, I mean,
Dawk, you want to go ahead?
I answered. It had zero effect. It actually was detrimental to his career because after he did that, that's when all of a sudden they found out that him and Monica Lewinsky had their little tag. But nothing, just like everything they do, man. Yeah, that little entanglement. Because this is what they do. Bill Clinton steps up and goes, I'm sorry, man. And then that fades away. Nobody talked about that I'm sorry ever again. All they talked about was his sexual exploits because we do not want these people to get riled up. We do not want the banana to come out the tailpipe because if it does, what you talking about? I don't know.
Explain that because there may be some people missing that banana in the tailpipe thing. They don't get that. Give them a little bit of a,
the banana in the tailpipe always get you to talk about everything but what you need to talk about. We talk about homosexuality. We talk about gender identity. We talk about Muslims. We talk about Christians. We talk about all of this. But guess what? Ain't none of us got no jobs and none of us are millionaires. None of us doing well. Why the hell do you care what I do at home? Oh, that's going to affect my kid. Hey, man, I know this dude. God, man, salute to this brother. These are his words. He's a gay brother. His name is Drew McCaskill, and he said, let me tell you something. All I saw when I was a kid was my daddy with a cigarette in one hand, my mama ass in his other hand, and I'm gay as hell. So no matter what you think, those are Drew McCaskill's words. Right. So no matter how many times you see somebody kiss a man on TV, you might go, but let me get gay right quick. No, you ain't finna look at him gay. You ain't gonna turn no kid gay. You ain't gonna do none of that. Now you might get, if these little boys being put in dresses, that might make a kid want to be like, hey, me too. But nah, but he ain't gonna be like, well, after I wear this dress, I'm gonna kiss a boy. No.
Yeah.
So they always, that's the banana in the tailpipe. I need you to talk about gay. I need you to talk about Muslim. I need you to talk about black. I need you to talk about white. I need you to talk about up, down, left, right. But forget that John Lewis anti-lynching act.
Yeah.
This bill primarily has been on the books since 1956.
Wow.
So,
Right.
but see, we talk about gay and TV and Cardi B. Like, okay, I mentioned this on my show Saturday. We talked about, as a society, we talked about all last week. Do you know Melinda, what's her name? Melinda Gates, whatever her name is. Bill Gates' wife and his kids are on the island for $132,000 a day. Blah, blah, blah. Do you know she owns 5% of Coca-Cola? Y'all, what the hell does that have to do with me not getting shot by the police?
Thank you. So, yeah. It's like, what?
I want to hear that, man. That's why if you listen to my show, I didn't mention Bill Gates' wedding nuptials, because guess what? I don't care what you do with your old lady.
None of my business. I can care less.
Right. Hey, man, you can have 10 women on the side. Guess what, Bill? If you so rich, if you woke up with Oprah's money, you'd be mad.
Right. Because it's not gonna solve it.
If you woke up with Mark Cuban's money, you mad. You're so rich that one of your former employees wrote $1 billion check to buy a basketball team.
Yeah.
One of your underlings bought a basketball team. So I don't care about
in LA.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I'm in the tailpipe. Because as long as we care about Bill Gates' personal life, somebody's sexual life, somebody's identity, somebody's religion, they ain't gotta fix nothing.
Right.
But last time I checked, I'm a firm believer in art imitating life. And all those movies, guess what happened? When the poor people and the working class people, because I know some people, my man Big Illinois don't like to be called, he just got in the building. He don't like to be called poor. And you know what? I used to be like, come on, dog. But now I get it. So I say working class. When the poor and working class people storm the castle, they get to, hey, slow down. I don't want you to mess it up. Because that's why Nike's speaking up. That's why Reebok speaking up. That's why these people speaking up. That's why those people speaking up. Because it gets, just imagine if all the white people, all the black people, all the Asian people, all the Hispanic people, Latino people, Latinx, whatever, however y'all identify, if we all said, screw cable, let's go back to playing cards.
Right.
I bet you laws change then. But see, we don't do that.
Right. And then it's funny what HRap is saying. Then you'll get the Mitch McConnells on TV talking about, the media or Hollywood should stay out of cable deals, and it's like, see, you trying to deter from what he's talking about. It's like you trying to pull that. You don't want people to pull out of that and cut the cord and go back to regular TV. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to stop that. But it's like, man, white people are some of the biggest people to tell you what they don't support. We'll tell you in a minute and not blink.
Yeah, and make no mistake about it that some of these companies who are active or appearing to be active in the black community, appearing to be supportive in the black community, make no mistake about it.
Right.
It is because it is good business.
Exactly.
You don't get no blue ribbon from me. Appreciate it, but it is the smart play. It's good business, and that's what I've been trying to tell you all along. I'm not telling you to support my community because I need a handout. That's not why I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that because it's good business.
Right.
It is the right thing to do for you and for me.
You keep telling me my vote puts you in office. This is the black community. The black woman turned out and voted. Yeah, but you're not trying to pour anything back into that, though. Like you said, it's just good business.
Yeah, just like everybody. I remember about 3 years ago, everybody was, we got black TV shows, we killing it on TV. And then I read this study. Black people over-index on TV. We're the largest subscribers to television programs in the United States of America. So who the hell else you gonna put on TV? If we sit in front of the TV all the time, we're not gonna have a damn white show. You're not gonna make Friends 2K.
Happy Days.
No, you're gonna put Happy Days back on. You better make Good Time. You're gonna reboot Good Time.
Right. You gonna put Jefferson back on there.
Right.
Yeah. Let's get to this question by Stevie Lott. Thank you for tuning in. Didn't Clinton make prison laws that affected Black folks adversely?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Hey, you ready for this?
Oh,
Guess who was on top of them joints? Your president.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Your president.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. What? 2 votes? 2-time votes?
Hey, man. Okay. Every time, like every time they go, we sending this to the Supreme Court, and everybody being that punk ass Clarence Thomas. All you have to do is go to 1600 Black Lives Matter Lane and say the dude who live here, he put Clarence Thomas in that seat because when Clarence Thomas had pubic hairs on Anita Hill's soda, Joe Biden said, "It's cool, she Black."
Right. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Wow.
They forget about that part. They don't want to talk about that part.
They don't want to talk about that, all Joe. And then and see, we got to start choking folks out. If you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. First of all, I'm not Black. I'm African. How about that, Joe?
Yeah.
How about that, Joe?
Yeah, we did that with Clinton on Arsenio Hall playing the saxophone. Next.
I swear on my mother's grave. That's when I jumped off. I promise y'all, I swear on my mother's soul. I remember watching Arsenio Hall that night, and he bust out that saxophone. I said I wouldn't vote for this bastard to be dog catcher.
Right.
I swear to God, I checked out that day.
He didn't inhale. I wish I could say the same.
Right. Sure,
I
buddy.
wish I could say
buddy.
the same.
Sure,
Dawk, go ahead and give this shout out right here.
Shout out to little baby queen, my little sister, Alicia Lee Vows. Ain't no telling what she was like. I think she was probably laughing at the part that HRap said when he said the dude saw his daddy with a cigarette in one hand and wire button another hand, but he gay as all I know. I think that's probably the part that she laughing at.
Hey man, that's what he said. That ain't Pascal said that on Karen Hunter's show. And I respect him for it, man. You know,
Oh yeah.
me and Dawk, we're a little older than y'all. So we come from a age that really using words like the F word and the N word really wasn't, we didn't mean it. It was like, at one point, I was known as Italian Beefhead Brian because I got a long head. My cousin didn't hate me when he do that. And when I'm on the west side of Chicago, homies see me, and they be like, "What up, Beef?" It's not a derogatory term. It's this one dude from my neighborhood. I hope they not listening. There was so many people named Tony in my neighborhood. There was this one dude, he's kind of effeminate, and we called him F-Tone. And y'all know what that F means. F-God.
Yeah.
But it was just, he was like, hey, Tony Rayford, no. Tony this, no. Tony no. F-Tone. Oh, okay. He still hung out with us.
Right. Yeah.
And was it wrong in hindsight? Yes. But stop trying to define my culture and inculcate it into yours, and then it's negative.
Right. Oh, that's not right. Well, you have to understand when you create that environment.
I'm not in Illinois.
That's
I seen that too.
What it is. I saw that.
Let me read Big Illinois' first comment. He said, "Too much gossip in our community, not enough action." And then he followed it up with this gem right here. HRap purchase the saxophone.
Don't forget the sunglasses.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Right.
That's why he gets mad because he used to have that voila in his head back then. He know what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Black Swan. Thank you for tuning in. She normally comments after the show is over, but she did catch us while we're live, so we appreciate it. And Wilks, that was wasn't that a Simpsons reference? Then they have Then they have a Bill Clinton playing the sax on the Simpsons.
They did. Yes, they did. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
you know me, I love me some Simpsons.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we talk about that every day.
I can't stand that damn Bill Clinton. I never liked him. Man, don't start me. Let's just turn the page on Bill Clinton.
I did not have sexual relations
with that woman. And then he did that.
And I'm gonna tell you like this: based on that theory, based on that logic, I have never had sexual relations.
Like, man, you expect us to believe that? Come on. And then it was like after that moment, it cemented him forever in pop culture.
Right. He was cool.
Matter of fact, a comedian said that Bill Clinton was so famous that if you just gave him a blowjob, you became famous.
Right. Like, he was so popular. If you I'll make you famous.
Oh man.
But even with that, we talk about that instead of the thing. Man, you know what, man? This is why I hate. This is why I hate. If I don't know you as a politician, this is why I hate each and every politician from border to border, from coast to coast. They keep saying these Republicans trying to change the law so black folks can't vote. So DNC, why ain't you getting buses and trains and planes and goddamn horse-drawn wagons to these seniors' houses so you can get them to get their ID so we can get them to vote early.
Right now, not in 3 years.
Not last minute. Yeah.
You got control of the House. How about this? Change the voting laws nationally. Why don't you do this? Why is it that we're the only civilized country that can only vote for a week? I mean, the voting day is one day. Every other country vote for a week.
Right. Yeah, it's usually a week.
How can 300 million people vote one day?
Right.
Yeah.
So big.
That's overload right there.
Right. That's retarded. Hey, how about that? Well, that's underdeveloped. But
we'll edit that out.
They can, we have to edit that out. But it's just not right. We really need this. We need to have a senior voting day, a senior voting week. Right. Well, us as members of the community go and assist the seniors in voting, and then we break it down from there. Because you mean tell me I'm 80 years old, 65, 70 years old? I live this long to stand out in the damn sun, in that hot Texas sun. And I think God moved the sun a little closer to Mississippi. I'm just saying. I've been down there once or twice. It's hotter than hell in July in Mississippi. One of my favorite places in America to visit is Arizona. And I love Arizona. And I have been standing in the sun. I had one of my homies go, "Oh, you don't mind the sun? Why ain't you?" And I wasn't even sweating. I was in Mississippi. I was like, man, I got to get the hell out of here. I had a whole nother level of respect for the people who was enslaved. I was like, man, no, I'd have ran too.
Yeah.
But it has to change, but they don't want to change it. They happy with this tennis game that they playing. See, we with you, we not. And as Big Lamar said, Democrats are for suckers. They have no backbone. Backbone. Who them people, man? You ain't helping me. You helping you.
That's right. Yeah. No one party.
You up and fill your pockets. You up and fill your pockets so that you can continue to live the way that you live.
Yeah. Follow the money. Exactly. All right, Trey. Wrap us up on exterminating these brutes, man.
All right. That's what I'm about getting ready to do. Let's bring it all the way back around. We watched all 4 episodes of this. It's obviously it's brought up a lot of great discussions. We talked about a lot of different things. So let's kind of give each of us give a takeaway, or kind of bring it all the way around and give kind of a last summary of it. So Wilks, go to you first.
Yeah, I just feel that I may sound like a broken record, but once again, after watching this, it just goes to show how hard somebody is willing to masquerade and put on a show of saying, hey, I did this, but you didn't do this originally. The only thing you did was pretty much leave destruction and wake and disease in your in your pathway. So it's just one of those things where it also opened my eyes to a lot of things that, man, I remember reading this, but you didn't know the backstory of everything. So it was just one of those things where it's like, wow, man, you went to great lengths to cover up certain things and wipe out things that you, like, why would you be ashamed of? You know, it's like, just get along with the people that are already here and make it work, but you didn't want that to happen. So, but no, it was a really good documentary. I enjoyed it. Once again, I like history anyway, and just kind of seeing some of the things in there really kind of brought some things back to memory pretty sharp.
Yeah. All right, Dawk.
Yeah, Raoul Peck stated that one of his aim in this show was to get the viewers to understand the prejudices that we've absorbed through pop culture, right? And you can't just think about pop culture and what it means today. You got to think about pop culture and propaganda, those type of things, and what it's been over the years, over hundreds of years.
Right.
And so he just wants you to examine those prejudices that we've absorbed. In other words, so when you've absorbed something, it's inside of you, right? You've taken it as truth. You've accepted it as truth. And his aim is just simply to get you to examine those. That's it. Just take a look at it, right? And so I think he accomplished that at the end of the day, right? And so one of the things we got to do is go back and give what do we give, microphones? Is it 5 mics, 4 mics? What is it, 5 mics?
Yeah, 5.
We got to go back and give that. I won't spoil it and give mine now. I'll wait to the end. But I think he accomplished exactly what he set out to accomplish, and he did it in a very unique way. And in addition to that, he even said the mere fact that I was able to publish this documentary is a miracle. See, I'm willing to bet HRap didn't know he had said that when he first brought this up, and he said that he says if I'm white people, if I'm the establishment, he goes, I'm mad at this. He goes, I'm hot that this came out, right?
I'm not letting this come out.
Yeah, so Raoul Peck said it, and you got to kind of give big ups to HBO for bankrolling it, right? They bankrolled it. Somebody else did?
No. I'm not giving this the same reason I'm not giving them props for nothing else. Who watching TV, dog?
Oh yeah, it's good business. At the end of the day, they're doing it because it's good business, right? But they bankrolled it, right? And so again, without that bankroll, maybe somebody else picks it up, but at least they did their part to get it out there so we can see it, so we can talk about it, so we can put it out there, right? But again, it's because it's good business. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that they did it because they with you. I'm not saying that. They just know this is good business, right? And a smart businessman knows. Ask Jerry Jones if he doubt it. A smart businessman knows any press is good press.
Right.
I don't have like this comment, but bigger than none.
Yeah. Real quick, I was to read this. Stevie Lott said it's ironic. Who is really the brute? And that was major throughout this entire docuseries.
Right.
So is this movie saying who really needs to be exterminated?
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, big Illy with this comment. Great show, fellas. Hey, I'm sure the pictures on the wall I have HRap. So it's
well, I mean, being a history lover, being a documentary lover, this was one of the best I've ever seen in my life. I really appreciate it. I do traditionally watch documentaries with a grain of salt because it's always, why did you make this? Mm-hmm. And it's always some very important things left out. And as Wilks said earlier, just imagine how much wasn't touched. But man, I don't care what wasn't touched with this, man. I really appreciate it. And if anybody wants to continue this information, if you have, I think it's Epics or Showtime, I can't remember which one it was. Watch Enslaved. It's a docuseries, 6-part docuseries by Samuel Jackson. This is like the prequel to that. And because what Samuel Jackson does, they did it from history going east to west. He did it going west to east. Mm-hmm. And It's awesome. But man, I enjoyed every second of this, man. Shout out to Raoul Peck. Great job, man. I mean, this is just what I do. Watch these things. I didn't even realize, because I'm about to move, and I was like, man, I gotta hurry up, get my cable set up. And then I was like, really, I didn't need internet because I watch YouTube most of the day.
Right.
Yeah. And then I moved off other people's crib. I mean,
wow.
The internet. Let's can't fast for people.
So
I got some passwords out there. Oh, man. I pay for Netflix and I hand it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it really broke it down. I enjoyed hearing it broken down and talking about all of it. It wasn't like I'm just gonna talk about one side and not the other. I'm gonna talk about all of it. He exposed all of it. Like we were joking, he pulled the Band-Aid off, poured salt on it, and then stabbed it again, and then poured salt on it again. So, but I think the comment that kind of sums up everything is, it's not knowledge we lack. That was in this last.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah. It is not knowledge that we lack, because we've seen it over and over and over again. It's not as if we don't know what happened. We know what happened. Right. We got a variety. We got a Red Lobster seafood platter of stuff we can see to know what happened.
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Right, exactly. So for me, it was powerful, and I believe every person needs to watch this, because it is going to either confirm some things you knew, or it's going to shake up some things that you thought was true, and it's not. So yeah, I enjoyed it. This was something I was looking forward to watching and I purposely did not watch ahead, because I wanted to have that fresh perspective. And this one kind of, at the end of it, I wanted to bring this up. It touched on Auschwitz, and it had this kind of scene where it was going across.
Did you see all them camps, man? The number.
What was that? Was that
those them concentration camps?
That was the building.
So think about how many there were. They did an aerial view going across this entire compound with all those concentration camps, and that was the point of how endless it seemed, right? You know, it's just a number of them.
Yeah.
Each flags is still a watch. I'm still a camp.
Oh man.
Appreciate that. But yeah, man, this was great.
Again, imagery. He understood that you can't say everything. Some things has got to be, the image is going to be more impactful than for me to say anything.
Mm-hmm. And also, I love the reverse psychology he did it multiple times, where it had you thinking like, what am I watching? When he had the priests, and then he had the white slaves. I mean, that was it was done extremely well. Now it makes me want to go back and watch some of his other movies and documentaries. Sure. He's got quite a few.
That the book that he was mentioning, The Heart of Darkness, there's a lot of different takes on that movie out there. There's like some from the late 70s. I think there's one from, I want to say 2013, but I want to check out some of those movies now to see, because they talk about supposedly they're on this river boat in Africa and they're going up the Nile, not the Nile, but they're going up the river to like pretty much wipe out this colony of people. But I'll have to check it out.
And Raoul Peck did something I hear and watch HRap do quite a bit, and that is he gives credit to those who got him from point A to point B. This dude is so humble. He's not trying to tell you this is what I done came up with. This is what I found out. This is what I whatever. He gives three major people. He's like, it's because of them, that got me. He taught me this. She taught me that. And he taught me this. And he goes, and that made me look at this and look at that, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a humility play as far as I'm concerned, that he was like, and he even told you, he goes, I'm not in my movies. I'm not in my stuff. He goes, but I could not be in this situation. I had to insert myself in this because it was personal.
Right. And so, and Exterminate All the Brutes was a book by Stephen Lindquist. and he talked about this in this final episode. He passed away, I believe, when he was making this, or
right. I think probably right before he started making it.
Right.
From what I gathered.
Yeah, that was May 14th, 2019. So his birthday will be coming up in 4 days. But the impact that he had on Raoul Peck to put this out obviously was monumental. All right, so let's bring it to the mics. What we're going to give it out of 5 mics. I'll start with Wilks.
I'd have to give it 5 mics. If I could give it more, I would. But I mean, it's really, for me, like, once again, I sound like a broken record, but really eye-opening on some of the historical events that took place. Of course, the Louisiana Purchase is always going to get me, because how the Haitians kind of rose up against Napoleon. But yeah, no, got 5 mics.
All right, HRap.
What Wilks said.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's ironic for me that I'm giving something 5 mics that within the first 15, 20 minutes, I said, you're about to screw this up if you keep talking. So it just, what it does for me, man, and I love situations like this because it's continued to teach me stuff just like a lot of the reviews. Think about this for a second, brother. How many reviews have we done that we didn't learn something? We done learned something out of all of them. If nothing but for the fact that we learned something about ourselves, right? Because of the feelings that it evoked in us, right? Oh, yeah. So what it tells me is that, think about, even though we talk about prejudices and our spidey senses are up about prejudices and stuff like that, we still operate in some. I heard this dude talking. I was automatically going to make a judgment. I was going to prejudge him before I absorb the content. And that's all we're telling you to do is absorb the content. And as a result of how unique he was in a cinematic way of getting us to absorb the content with a factual basis, right, is the reason why I give him a 5 mics. And like Wilk said, if I could give him more, I would. And again, it's not because I'm comparing this movie to Apocalypse Day, which was mentioned in this, or Saving Private Ryan, or whatever. It gets 5 mics because not only will it entertain you, right? But because of the amount of knowledge it's going to impart in you, right? And get you to change your perspective. And if you change your perspective, you change your life. So 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mics.
Indeed.
All right. Well, it's a clean sweep. I'm gonna give it 5 too. This is the first thing we've watched where I paused it multiple times, to think about it, to research, to just pause. Like, wow, I can't even believe I heard that. I mean, so this is really the first one where this was almost like a research project. Is like what this almost turned into. Right. Anything else we've watched, it hasn't been to that point. So, I've done more research and reading on this than on anything we've watched. So I got to give it.
And just to quickly interject, I mean, this could have broke off into a direction of talking about the Crusades and how the Roman Catholics and the Christians and the Latin Church was trying to pretty much evoke political and territorial gain. We didn't even get into that.
Yeah,
that's how they dressed it up. But I'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's true. So, man,
what's next?
A great documentary. Yeah. So next up, we're gonna do Without Remorse. So I think we're all in on that, right?
Oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, good.
Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. Michael B. Jordan. All the ladies, y'all probably gonna be here. Probably gonna be here next week.
I'm on the next show with my shirt off.
So yeah, we'll be doing that next week, and we're looking forward to it. Same time, same channel. We made it through this with the storm, but I'm surprised I didn't get knocked out. So thank you.
I had a couple of
out here in Garland.
Yeah.
The man could hold us back.
You tried.
Give a shout out to our regulars: Big Illinois, Just Joe, Rucker Park, Andrea Black, and then some new participants, Sister Shirley, Stevie Lott, Lamar Williams, Tony Morgan. They get Stevie B, and they gave us some good information this week, some good comments. We appreciate it.
A person who first time, my man Tony Morgan.
What's up, Tony?
Appreciate that.
Let's bob on the west side. Let's bob on the west side of Chicago. In Chicago, don't get your hair cut wherever you live. I'm gonna take you to home. He'll get you right.
Right on. In Big Illinois, I'm gonna try to get you some of these prints. If HRap come to Dallas like he's supposed to, I'm gonna try to send some of these prints back. But we're gonna let him keep that sax. That he ain't got to send it.
That's a souvenir.
He's really big Midlothian. He ain't big enough. He's big country club heels.
All right, well, HRap, round us out.
As usual, man, thank y'all for being here. Dream those dreams, and man of a woman up and live those dreams. It's life without dreams. Flows of black and white, life with dreams, flows of technicolor surround sound. And y'all already know if I owe you something, I ain't got it. If you need it, get it from God.
All right.
Peace.
All right.